Cool. All right, man. All right, y'all. I am back. The quality should be a lot better. I had to fight. I ain't gonna lie. I had to fight to get this quality like this. Um, so hopefully everything is looking pretty smooth on y'all's screen. But I am back. Let's see where we left off last time. I was building that. What was it? It was an expense tracker. What was it? Wasn't a scheduling engine. I was building an app. I don't know, or a CLI app, and let's see what had happened was I ended up finishing it off stream. But I'm going to show what I did really quick before we jump into today's project, or this next project. Really, that's what it was. Okay, so it's an invoice generator. I don't know how I forgot that quick, but yeah, it was an invoice generator, and the last thing I did, I had to add the printing functionality, and that's all in the main class. Basically, I just found out about multi-line strings and that you can format them. So I just created a string. I created a separate function or method to just it takes in an invoice, and then we just grab the data from that invoice and populate the I don't know what you would call these, but just populate the placeholders here. One of the issues that I was running into was the items, because you can have multiple items. I have a line item class, and this represents a single line item. So if you went ahead and typed in multiple line items, I was trying to figure out how to basically render that and put them in the right place. And that ended up being with this. I could just use the stream API. I created a two formatted string method on the line item class, and all that does is, I guess it's not a multi-line per se, but I just took that and grabbed the variables of the actual line and then format them to this. So this stream just goes through and grabs the formatted string and then joins them so that we have all the line items show, and then we just escape it with a new line. So that's all I did. It wasn't too much, but today we're moving on to something else. We are moving on to the man, what is going on? But we're moving on to the Expense Tracker CLI. So basically, I have just to catch everyone up to speed, if someone is watching, I have had chat. So I've been programming with Java for a little minute, and then by a little minute I mean maybe almost a year, I guess. Somewhere around a year. It's been slow bucks. I learned after work. I currently work in accounting, so yeah, I guess I've just been playing around with it. I'm taking it serious now. So over this time, I felt like there was gaps in my knowledge. So I asked chat to come up with just some different like assignments or little mini projects that I could use to kind of build that foundational knowledge, and then sky's the limit from there, right? So that is actually exactly what I'm doing here. So this Expense Tracker CLI, let's see. Project requirements is to build a Java CLI app that lets a user record expenses, view spending, and save/load data from a file. This project should feel like a real personal finance tracker, but still stay focused on Java fundamentals. So the learning targets should help me practice reading user input, creating domain objects, using literally not double, and using BigDecimal instead for money. Working with lists, map and filtering, saving data to a file, loading data to a file so you read and writes. And then separating business logic from printing. Because as you can see in this right here, this main.java, I think I have it's too much logic in here, I believe. So the goal is to just have this main file run the program instead of doing all this inside main. Basic validation and then basic reporting. So said I should have at least these domain objects, which is an expense that holds an ID, description, amount, category, and date. A category as an enum. It's pretty simple. And then debt or expense tracker. This should manage the collection of expenses. Its responsibilities are to add an expense, remove an expense, find expenses by category, find expenses by month, calculate total spending, calculate total by category, and return all expenses. So this is where most of my collection practice should happen. It's in this expense tracker class. So I should manage the collection of expenses. Thinking about how I want how that should look. We'll find out. CLI features. Your app should have a menu like this. Expense tracker, add expense, view all expenses, view expenses by category, view expenses by month. Okay, so the required behaviors is to add an expense. User should enter the description, amount, category, date. Description cannot be blank. Amount must be greater than 0. Category must be valid. Date must be valid. Do not use double for big money, or do not use double for money. Use BigDecimal. They should be able to view all expenses in a readable format. I'll probably use this example exactly. View expenses by category. Ask the user for category. Yep. View expenses by month. Using year, month. View total spending. View spending by category. Delete an expense. And then file requirements. I should be able to save expenses to a simple text file. A CSV file. I think that's different from a text file, right? But each line represents one expense. Great. Required file behavior. Save all expenses to a file. Load expenses from the file when a user chooses load. I've never done this before. Saving to a file or loading from a file. So this should be interesting. When loading, rebuild expense objects from the file. Do not store money as double. Handle a missing file without crashing. Okay. Alright, so I should make a repository too. Okay. And then do not let one. Yeah, this is what I saw. Okay, so do not let one giant main method control everything is the big thing. Let me get the stream on this laptop. On this screen. So that way I can see. Okay. Let's go back. Okay, so Do not let one giant main method control everything, which is what I did in the last project. A good sign you're doing this right is main starts the app, Expense CLI talks to the user, Expense Tracker manages the expenses, Expense file repository saves and loads data, Expense represents one expense. Extra challenge requirements. Only do these after the core version works. Monthly budget. Let the user set a monthly budget. Calculate the highest expense. Show the most expensive expense. Category percentage report. Okay, so I guess it's based on the monthly budget. And then it's even telling me when to commit. So, excuse me. Okay. So let's start from, I like the suggested class structure. And then let's go ahead and make a repository. I hope I don't get hacked. I don't know if anybody can hack me from doing this, but I don't know. Mess around and get swatted or doxed or something. Tracker CLI. Great. And then I will steal this description. Okay. We are not gonna add the readme. There we go. And then now let's create the project in IntelliJ. It does not need to be over there. This Expense Tracker CLI. Java 26. JDK 26, build system, we'll leave that with IntelliJ. We are good to go. I need to start getting more comfortable with the command line. I'm pretty sure I could have did that with the command line. Okay, so first thing first, let's create a main.java. That should be okay. It's a top level. Okay, so I'm gonna do main.java. I don't know how well you guys can see this. Give me 1 second. I just want to see how well this can be seen. I can make it a little bit bigger. Let me see. I'm just making sure that this is big enough to be seen. So. Okay, yeah, that shouldn't be too bad. So let's do this. Let's actually get some music going, let's actually get some music going. Just want to see how well y'all can hear me on this. So we got some music going. Let's just add the main function. We do a little test. Appreciate that. Do a little system dot out dot print. I guess I don't really need the line. Expense Tracker CLI. Okay, let's run this. Show read access and 17 more shortcut config. Interesting. Okay. So this works. We got our stuff here. We probably need to make this a little bit bigger. Let's see. Just making this should be big enough. Okay, so we got this going. Let's go ahead and add our repository. What is this? Don't need none of this. Okay. Don't need this either. This or this. Cool. Let's initialize it. Git init. Yeah. Git add. Just call it initial commit. Also make it a little bit bigger. Okay. Dude, now it's so funny because I have a bunch of projects on here, but I always have to follow this every time, literally every time. What is that? Get remote. I think that's how you do it. You don't do -m main, right? You do -m main. Get remote add right origin. Cool, and then now we should be able to push this. Yeah. Hit push -u main. Cool. All right, bang. Okay, so now we can get to what? I hate when I do that. Okay, so now we can get to the actual project. So let's just start off, like I said, with the class structure. With the first class. Yeah. So let's create a package. Call this one domain. Follow instructions, and then expense class. Okay, so an expense represents one expense. It should have at least these 3 fields. Cool. Let's do it. So, the private final UUID. I wonder. If I do like my own, let's see. I've literally always done a UUID, so I'm just gonna try something different here and see how this goes. Description. I'm gonna have to make that category class. And then private final dates. Trying to think if I should add any other fields, but no, we're just gonna do this. So let's make the constructor here. ID. Yeah, let's do this. And then as I start adding the business rules, I'll just go in and update the constructor. But for right now, we're gonna do it like this. And then a date. And I'm actually gonna get rid of this here. We need to auto-generate the, what's the name? Okay, so how would you manage IDs by yourself? Like to get them to auto-increment every time? Maybe I just set it equal to like 0, and then I would do this dot ID plus plus. No. This dot ID equals. Is this valid? It's not valid. That's the ID. That's not valid at all, huh? Let's see what the issue is. Cannot assign a final. Oh, yeah. So then, is this valid? That is not valid. But that doesn't work because it's always going to be 0. All right, first Google of today. So let's see. Let's go to this. to manage ID generation using long instead of UID with Java. Got it. Atomic long. It's using Spring. No. No. Let's see how to your own simple. Okay, if your application runs, so there's an atomic long class. It generates strictly increasing. So an atomic long. I'm trying to create a method that generates ESC. I can't use because of final variable. Are there any other options? Oh, that's not possible. This smells a lot like an XY problem. What are you trying to solve? If you're wanting jobs to have unique IDs and aren't worried about concurrency, keep a non-final static variable in the class that represents the global highest unused job ID. Then the constructor of each object set the new job's final ID to that value and increment it. This also needs to work in a multi-thread environment. You must use synchronization or atomic operations. What is an atomic long? I don't even know what that is. Never even heard of that before today. Let's see. A long value that may be updated atomically. The hell does that mean? Let's see the Java util concurrent atomic package specification for description of these properties, of the properties of atomic variables. An atomic long is used in applications such as atomically incremented sequence numbers and cannot be used as a replacement for a long. However, this class does extend number to allow uniform access by tools and utilities that deal with numerically based classes. We gotta figure out what atomic is. This sounds like everything. A small toolkit of classes that support lock-free thread safe programming on single variables. Maybe update it automatically. Oh, okay, so there's more. In essence, the classes in this package extend the notion of volatile values, fields, and array elements to those that also provide an atomic conditional update operation of the form. Alright, I don't even think I need this, so maybe just learn this later if needed. because I don't need to worry about like synchronization right now. So I'm not in a multi-threaded environment. Private static alarm next ID. So it's static. It's always 0. Okay. So let's make this final. Let's take this. It's gonna equal something else anyway, but we'll do private static. This equals, okay, cool. And then this dot description is going to equal description. And I know IntelliJ has a shortcut for this. I do know, but sometimes I just like to type it out, especially when you're learning. Like, I feel like it gives you a little bit of confidence boost. Like, yeah, okay, I do know how to type something. I do know how to make something work. Okay, and then what should we do next? Make a factory method. Specify create new, and then pass in basically the same stuff. Which I should, and I will just copy that though. Okay, and so this is literally just going to return a constructor. Description, amount, category, and a date. Okay, we can actually get rid of it. Take that out of there. Okay. And then we're gonna create a category. Oops. Let's create a category. Because I'm tired of looking at the squigglies. This might be able to be a record. No, it's not. It's an enum. Tweaking. Don't ask me again. Cancel that. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay. Really just gonna take exactly this. Throw that up there. Entertainment, food, transportation, utilities, rent, groceries, entertainment, debt, and other. I can't think of anything else. just gonna let that be. Okay, so now do we have, what category did it? Oh, because it's in the same package. Nice. What is this? Nice. Okay. Nice. And then I will have this do the oh god, no. No. What's the command? Generate. So it's that and in. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, I will have it do everything but that. Create the getters. And then what should a category or an expense do? Should format the string of an expense. Public. Yeah. String to formatted string. I'm not gonna pass in anything. A little bit of encapsulation. We are going to return. Let me see. Ooh. It's been a long day, boys. I could put this on one line though. I did it in the last app. No, I can't put it on one line. Damn. So I can't put it on one line. How the fuck? Maybe that wasn't what I did. I just did this. Okay. We're gonna do ID, and we're gonna do date, and then we're gonna do a category. Okay, and then the amount should be cool. Then description. Should also be cool. Okay. And this dot. I wonder if I should use the getter, or if I could just. Do I need to call? Is that like? I don't know. I don't think that's, yeah, I think we're good. Okay, so we got the string. Or you know what? Can I just and then just override it, right? Yeah, I think this is valid. I think this is valid. Okay, so description cannot be blank. So let's add if this dot, no, if description is not equal null, and it's not blank, I'm gonna add the description, and then anything else, then it would be, I'm gonna throw a new illegal argument. I'm not gonna make like custom classes or nothing for it, for this type of project. When I say custom class, I mean custom errors for this, custom exceptions. Description must be provided to create an expense. Okay, amount must be greater than 0. It's pretty easy. If amount is greater than 0. Oh, using a BigDecimal. And I believe it needs to be like this. If not, we're gonna find out. What the hell? Okay. Else. Legal argument exception. This is gonna be amount must be greater than 0. Then category must be valid. So let's see, category. I'm leaning towards a switch statement to check all of the categories, but I feel like that is a bad idea. Always false. Let's see. checking enum validity Java. So I could do a helper file. Yeah, no, but we need to throw. This is the best practice. So you create a lookup set. Okay, return this. Cache the valid names inside a static hash set or map when the enum class loads. This guarantees an O1 constant time lookup without array allocations or exceptions. So there are no cons for that. That's interesting. Converts a string into an enum constant. The string does not match any constants. Exactly. It throws. Interesting. So is valid. Public static boolean is valid. String value. What if the value, if I am passing in, so you're adding all of it to the hash set, and then you're just looking through the hash set to see if it contains. Okay. I guess this is the best practice, but I like it because it allows the enum to validate itself. So we create a hash set, and then, okay. Interesting. So let's see. Here. And then we create a hash set, so static. Category, I'm assuming. a static for loop for each loop. Am I tweaking? Category dot values, and that should be everything. Okay. And then we should set dot add category. What's wrong with this? Collection dot add all. Oh, what's wrong with this? Required type is a category. Oh. So are they strings? What? Non-final field. Sure. Wait, let's wait. This might be a dumb question, but it is what it is. Enum values strings in Java. So they're not strings. Returns the exact string literal declaration. Okay. And this creates a string. This returns a string. The set holds strings. Then we look up a string value. So okay then, so public static boolean is valid. And this will allow, so this should allow me to, I guess, just ingest a string from the terminal. I believe that's how you do that. Okay, so public static boolean is valid. Value. And so this is going to return value is not equal null, and lookup sets that contains value, right? Oh, so then what's wrong with this? constructor parameter. Oh, yeah, no. So if category dot is valid, and we're gonna do category dot name. So we're not validating it, are we? I don't know. It almost made me feel like we're not validating it. Like the category isn't validating itself because I'm doing this in a constructor of the expense. And I could have just had possibly could have just had like thrown from here. I feel like I'm getting throw happy. I'll just let the expense throw everything, I guess. Valid category is needed to create an expense. And then the date must be valid. Check the validity of a date. So we can enter past dates. We're gonna need to be able to enter past dates. Should I not allow future dates? I don't know. I don't really like that. I haven't really seen that in any budget apps. So if date dot I wonder if they have like, I know JavaScript does like a type of method or function or whatever to verify the type. But you know what? I wonder if I pass in a string and then convert it to a local date in the constructor. Would that make it easier? When grabbing input. Or maybe I can just cast it to a local date. But I do want a specific format. Maybe I'm mixing responsibilities. Hash code. I don't even know. String until with. Yeah, no. Okay. I don't really know like what to do for the date. Date must be valid. Let's see. Java date. Local date. Does it? Check if the date is equal to another date. What is a hash code? Let me see. Just curious. What's a hash code? I mean, I guess I don't know if that's Java specific or what. Is an integer value that represents a shorthand numerical summary of an object. It is generated by the hash code method, which is defined by the root object class, because every class inherits object. Imagine you have a collection of 100,000 items. I want to see if a specific item exists inside of it. Without hash codes, you have to look through each item one by one using the dot equals method. This is slow. With hash codes, Java converts them into an integer value. It uses this number as an index or bucket location inside collections. I get hit with an ad. What? It's crazy. I only say that because like this is one of those. I guess you got to make money too. But it's like a jazz hip hop, I guess, thingy. So I don't know. It's like 3.5 hours. I thought it wouldn't be ads. How naive of me. It uses this number as an index or bucket location inside collections like hash map or hash set. Java can jump straight to that specific bucket instantly, drastically improving lookup performance. Interesting. Okay. So unequal objects do not equal unique hash codes. Oh, so this is not what I need. This is not what I need. instance of. Oh, okay. Okay. If date instance of local dates is redundant and can be replaced with a null check. I guess this is already forcing it to be a date. So if this is probably redundant, then if I do date instance of, it is, yeah, okay. Interesting. I thought I was gonna add it for me. New legal argument exception. Let's say please date is required to create an expense. And that should be all of the validation for that. Yeah, and then we have creating an expense. It didn't say update an expense. And I feel like that would, well, yeah, it didn't say update an expense. I'm not trying to make this into a huge CLI, huge project either. But I could just throw an update in here for the description, amount, and category. Just in case, right? But I was about to say, I know that's not all the domain classes. Yeah. Shit, damn near. Maybe this will be done in another 2 days or so. Let's see what's up with this expense tracker. This one I'm a little bit confused on. And that's because Expense tracker handles business logic. No scanner here, no printing here. So the expense tracker is where am I at? Where's the okay? add an expense, remove an expense, find expenses by category, find expenses by month. Oh, okay. Okay. So actually, let's put the remove here. Oh. Wait a minute. This handles a single expense. Can it delete itself? Is the question. Hold on, let me turn this fan on, dude. I'm burning up in here, man.